Nelson.
So thanks very much for having me. I was rehearsing with my wife all week, and she asked me this morning, "Can you do this in 5 minutes? Because you talk for hours." It's like, yeah, we'll see. So I just wanted to say again, thank you so much. I'm Robert Nelson. I work with the Metropolitan Homelessness Project, and our mission is to end homelessness. And I'm here to talk tonight a little about Albuquerque heading home and housing first and ending homelessness here in Albuquerque. And so I'm going to pause because I'm going to take a deep breath. So I also wanted to note that some of the pictures in this slide are pictures of people that are homeless, and these are people that we actually surveyed last week for Albuquerque heading home. And this man actually was found underneath an overpass by the convention center, by Marquette, I believe is the street. And it was 11 below. It was Tuesday morning around 4, and he said that we could ask him questions about vulnerability index stuff, but I'll get to that here in a second. So what is homelessness? We all know what it looks like stereotypically. There's around here in the university area, there's all kinds of people that beg for change, beg for money, you know it, and a lot of the time we just kind of ignore them. But some of the things that we do and some of the things that we say about homelessness is, what does it look like and what does it feel like to be homeless? So ask yourself a few questions. What does it mean to lose your home, to lose your job, to lose all your money, and be placed in a system that looks kind of like this? This is a labyrinth of our system, and this is indicative of what's all around the country right now in terms of where you go. Imagine doing this without a car, without any money, without an ID, and imagine doing that for every day, for a day, or a month, or 12 years, or 20 years, like this guy right back here who's been homeless for about 20 years or so. And he was in our respite care program at one point, and he's an alcoholic as well. We also surveyed him in MATS. So what's happening a lot of the time is we're managing homelessness. We're not actually managing the problem. We're actually managing the problem, and we're not really fixing it. And so building emergency shelters for us is not really the answer. And on top of that, it's also costing the taxpayers a whole lot of money. And what I mean by that is that anytime you send a paramedic or a police officer picks up a homeless person on the side of the street and takes them to the emergency room, if they have a cold, that person exits out on the street, and then they come back because it's exacerbated and becomes pneumonia. And so there are some stats here in terms of what we're doing. What we're doing is called Housing First. And there's some stats up on the board right now to talk a little about what that means for the cost to the public. And so I'll take Seattle actually, for instance. So about 97% of detox admissions have been reduced in the last year in Seattle because they're just housing people. And what that means is that instead of dangling the carrot and saying, you get services here, here, and here, and then you finally get housing, we're going to turn that upside down on its head and say, we'll give you a house first, surround you with services, and we'll let you self-elect on that, based on that criteria itself. And so what we're doing, what does that mean for Albuquerque? And can we end homelessness? I think so. And what we've actually done is partner with a group nationally called 100,000 Homes. And their mission is to house 100,000 people nationwide by 2013. They've already housed 7,200 people in the last 7 months. The number up there is actually obsolete. And 67 communities are actually participating right now. And so last week we actually did our little survey week, and what that means is we take hundreds of volunteers. We go out into the streets, we go out in the shelters, we go out to the Bosque, we went to the overpasses and the parks, and we surveyed people based on a vulnerability index. And we tried to find the most vulnerable people to a risk of mortality. And what that means is there is a criteria whether or not they've been to the emergency room more times in the last month or the last year, whether or not they have mental illnesses, whether or not they have addictions to drugs or alcohol. And we based that criteria and we ranked them to find out who is the most vulnerable to a risk of mortality here in Albuquerque. We're finding more and more here that the national average is lower than what Albuquerque's vulnerable number is. And this man actually was found out by the Bosque last week as well. So what we're doing right now is we're going to take that most vulnerable population. We actually found 252. The public number that we promoted with the mayor of the city was 75. So we actually have a lot of vulnerable people here in Albuquerque. And you'll see the chart. Some of the Albuquerque averages are actually higher than the national averages across the United States. So what that means now is we need to find housing units for some of these people. We've already identified some housing units with HUD and with the supportive housing and the VA, they've been very helpful with us. But right now, a lot of what we do need is volunteers to help transition people into housing, driving them to appointments or medical appointments of any sort, donating furniture. We were asking people to donate one apartment for 1 year, if that's even possible. We're asking people to sponsor somebody in a home. And so I'm here tonight to actually spread the word about Albuquerque Heading Home. There's a website, it's abqheadinghome.org, and we are on Facebook and Twitter. And I will leave you with this man. He is one of the most vulnerable people that we found last week. He's been homeless for over 10 years. And that's it. My name is Robert Nelson. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.